Hello everybody. In today's video we are going to continue with our series on the history of Islam and Islamic thought, and today we will discuss the message of the revelation, the content of the Quran, and the relationship, the knowledge, the science in the matter in connection with God, nature, and what the Quran states about this, and what is the purpose and what is the teaching that came down for the people at the time in Arabia, that this kind of message specifically was sent down in the Quran. We know that the revelation that started in the year 610 and ended in 632 with the death of the Prophet, it came to him irregularly, meaning it was dependent on the circumstances of the Prophet and on the circumstances of the community that he founded. And the majority of scholars agree that the last verse that was revealed was verse 281 of chapter number 2 or surah number 2, in which the Quran says, be conscious of the day in which you will be brought back to us, and God will repay in full to each person according to his or her deeds. And this is a very, very powerful statement. Is calling upon each human being to be conscious of what he or she does, of us to be conscious of our actions, because everything that we do has a repercussion, has a result. There's a cause and effect, as they say. Therefore, God is saying, be careful of what you do, because according to that, then you will be rewarded, either with good or bad, according to your actions. And this is a powerful message that the Quran is stating for all humankind. In the topic related to God and creation, the Quran clearly emphasizes the importance to be conscious of the unicity of God. God is one, not two, not three, not four. God is one, and this is something that is, of course, characteristic of the monotheistic religions, and is very important to establish this in the mind of the people of the time, and of course in our days. But we have to understand that at the time, the majority of the Middle East was following the monotheistic religions, because Christianity and Judaism was spread all over, and Zoroastrians also. The only region in all of the Middle East that was still with a lot of people following polytheism, meaning having many gods, were the people in Arabia. The Arabs were the ones who were worshipping many gods. But the majority of all the Middle East were following one God, the God of the Bible, all the prophets from Abraham and all the other great prophets. So the Arabs were the ones that still maintained this kind of belief in many gods. Though it's still in Arabia, there were many people who were following the monotheistic religion, such as Judaism and Christianity, but also there were some who also practiced some kind of monotheism that was not that one of the Jews or the Christians, like the Sabians and the Zoroastrians, for example, and even others that didn't claim any kind of affiliation to any religion, but they still worship one God, the creator of everything. And this was the situation and the context. And we have to understand that to each prophet was sent down to his own people, to his own nation, in his own language, in this case Arabic, and each nation God sent them a specific message to them. And this is the context in which the Quran came down, and it is the context in which the Prophet was sent down specifically for the people in Arabia, his own people. The same way that God revealed his word to the people of Israel, Banu Israel, for the people of Israel, and all the prophets that came to Israel in their own language, Hebrew and Aramaic, that are the language that the Jews spoke and speak today. And this is the context that was important to make clear for the Arabs at the time, and therefore the importance of the Islam continuing with the line of the monotheistic thought, the belief in one God. And now, what is the context of nature? Because the Quran also speaks a lot about rivers and the trees and the moon and the sun and the stars and mountains. And the Quran says, these are signs. These are signs for you to know that there is a creator in the world. Everything is the design of an intelligent being, a superior entity, which has created everything. Everything that you see is the Quran telling us, in other words. It didn't came out of nowhere. No, there is a creator. And look, by examining nature, human beings should come upon the conclusion that there must be a higher entity. There's an intelligent design behind everything. It's not that everything just came out of nowhere. And that's why the Quran is saying, and I would like to quote, when it says, we shall show them our signs in the horizons of the universe and within themselves, so that it will become clear unto them that this revelation is indeed the truth. This is Surah 41 verse 53. So this is clear, the message that we find in the Quran. And therefore, what the Quran is telling us related to this topic, God and creation, is that there is a relationship between the Creator and His creation. And us as human beings, as the top of the creation, we have to be very conscious. Enough of worshipping stones and trees and rivers. The Quran is saying no. You are not supposed to worship these kind of things. You have to give glory to the one who made these things. You are smart. Human beings are the top of creation. What are you doing these kind of things? Specifically, again, I emphasize for the Arabs at the time, that the Quran came down at this specific moment in Arabia, because again, the majority of the Middle East was following the monotheistic way. And it's interesting to notice that still the Quran says there will be many people who will not believe this message. And to them, it clearly says, and I would like to end with this quote, in which the Quran clearly speaks that these people are deniers of the truth, and because they have a veil in their hearts, and these people are known as kuffar. And the Quran in Surah number 22 verse 46 says the following, addressing to these kind of people who deny the truth and still continue with the polytheistic way of many gods. The Quran says about them, have they then never journeyed about the earth, letting their hearts gain wisdom, and causing their ears to hear? The Quran is asking. Yet verily it is not their eyes that have become blind, but blind have become their hearts that are in their breasts. I think this is a very powerful verse, and it's amazing. It says, no, it's not the eyes that they are blind. Their hearts are the ones blind. It's like, meaning that we must have the consciousness that the relationship with God is also with the heart. If our hearts become like stone and still deny the truth, that's why the Quran is saying, it's not their eyes. They are seeing the creation. They are seeing the mountains, the sun, the river. Everything is giving glory to God, the Creator. But it's not their eyes that are blind. They see, but they don't understand, because the one that understands is the heart. That's why the Quran is saying their hearts are veiled. It's like they are totally blind. Their heart is blind, not their eyes. They see, but they still don't understand. And this is amazing and a powerful way to explain and to show the situation at the time, and the situation still of many people today who have many ways of worship. I mean, having many gods and these things that, of course, is disapproved within the context of the monotheistic religions that clearly emphasize in the creation in one and unique God. And this is a very, very powerful message that the Quran is bringing in relation to God and nature. Nature should be an aid for us to get closer to God and to know that there is a Creator in the world, and to Him we should give glory and serve. In the next video, we are going to continue with this topics related to the context, to the content of the Quran and the message of the Quran, and we will discuss about the poor, what the Quran says about poor people, and meaning what should be our attitude for those who have certain position or means, meaning money, etc., that we should help those brothers, sisters who have no, who are in poverty, etc. We will go in detail in regarding this topic and other topics in future videos. I want to thank you as always for your attention. Don't forget to share this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and as always, you're very welcome to review the additional material that I've been publishing here in the channel. It's all content related to in this case the history of Islam, the Islamic thought, the Islamic philosophy, the Islamic beliefs, from a very open way, meaning that my intention is not to preach necessarily Islam or anything like that, but simply as a historian I am explaining the development and the origin of the Islamic religion within the context of the time, within our modern day, and within the context of the monotheistic religions, as a way to explain for Muslims and not Muslims, to everybody, to explain and to know about all of these topics in connection with the Islamic studies. Thank you again, and we'll see each other in the next video.